If they change the name, they'll have to drop down.
Right, good evening, everyone. I hope you're all well. Welcome to the Proper Football Show every Sunday, 6:30. We've got the usual suspects on. We've got Mr. Gary Harris, although even I'm Gary Harris today, if you look at the name. I'm Dan Slawson. Hello, Gary, you all right?
Hello, mate.
Hello.
Yeah, just trying to share, but I can't share it.
No, I'm having trouble as well. If anyone's watching, could you please share it?
Please
and
share.
our resident ex-pro, Mr. Nigel Cally Callaghan. How you doing, mate?
Hello.
Good. We meant to have Gary Boatsy Clark when he's having a few issues, so hopefully we can bring him on. Let's try again now. There he is. Hello, Gary.
Still freezing, isn't it?
It's still freezing.
No,
It's not happening.
not happening, Gal. If you can hear us,
No, it's not happening. All right, we'll see if it livens up as we go along.
Yeah.
Anyway, you both had a good weekend, lads? Had a good week?
Yeah, not bad. Mate, sorry, no, yeah, mate, it's the sort of been all right, not too bad. Busy with work, that's good.
Lots of football on. Just
Lots
to say a
of
few of
football.
those. We've got Dave Lovegrove on. Good evening. Ben Cliff, big Stoke City and Kidsborough Athletic fan. Alex Langley. How you doing, boys? Right, I suppose we was gonna chat with Gary about Carlton Town and he's how they're getting on and the Forest result. But we're gonna talk about the football that's just gone on this weekend. Some great games and some funny old VAR decisions again. What games have stood out for you, Nigel?
Basically, I was watching the bad decisions on VAR. So probably the Palace Newcastle game.
Never a penalty.
I'm not sure about this VAR, mate. I think it's spoiling the game now. So I'm not a big fan of it.
No, I watched the. I didn't think the Van Dijk was a sending off. I think VAR got that right myself. And the Coutinho one, I thought that was it was a bad Lino decision. It wasn't nothing to do with VAR. The Lino put the flag up too early instead of letting him play run on, didn't he?
Yeah. That goalkeeper Mendy, he needs to get an Oscar, mate.
Who's that?
Is it Mendy, the goalkeeper for Chelsea?
Yeah. Although again, I thought I've only just seen it today. I watched a little clip, and I did think this isn't going to be popular with West Ham fans, but I did think Bowen did leave his foot in, didn't he, as he went over the top of him?
He's left his toe in. Bloody hell, mate. I've had harder tackles than when I played football. It's too much. Like, they get slight contact. They're rolling over 6 times.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I don't think the players helped, did they?
I'll tell you what, his reaction to that little foul, all right, if it was that bad, he should have gone off. He should have been able to carry on. That's what I think. I mean, it's too much play acting at the moment.
You can't. The refs can't tell the difference between a seriously injured player or somebody's play acting. Normally, when they roll around, smacking their hand on the floor, you know it's play acting, didn't you? If you've been injured, if you've been hurt hard, Nigel, you never used to roll around, did you? You'd be stuck still on the floor, I'd imagine.
That was I was playing against, so they trotted me again. He was rolled over. Stuart Pearce.
Who else? We've got Paul David Atkins on. Hope you're doing well. And Simon Shelton. So a few people on there. Please share the show if you can. Also, we're going to do the draw for the football card. We're raising money for a defibrillator to donate to a non-league or a grassroots club, which is, I don't know if you can see, it's a bit bright, but I'm going to scratch that off halfway through the show, and we're going to reveal the winner. So thank you everyone taking part. Hopefully we're going to raise 125 quid for that towards a 775 target we're going for to donate it to a non-league club or a grassroots club who come forward. So anyone who knows non-league clubs or a part of a non-league club, see if your club have got a defibrillator, and if they haven't, then get them to get in contact with us, and they'll all go into a hat, and we'll pick one out when we raise the money. Right, so how did Watford get on the weekend, Gal? I think all our teams drew.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I'm still trying to battle with this. They've updated our bleeding page as we've gone live, I think.
I know.
Facebook, twats. Right, firstly, rants anyway. How did Watford get on? So 1-1 with Rotherham. They're pretty entertaining game, I suppose, but the Rotherham got an early goal, and all I can say is, and I think we've got a couple of Watford people on here, but all I can say is the defending on that is probably one of the worst. We've had some shit defending over the years at Watford. I've not rated our defence for several years now, and in all honesty, their goal it was comical. I've seen under 10 teams, which we'll be talking about under 10 teams at some point today, won't we? Anyway, I've seen under 10 teams defend better than that. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, you know. But they came back at it. I think it was a bigger result for Rotherham than it was for Watford, in all fairness.
They're doing well, Rotherham, this season. They're near the top, aren't they? They've had a good start. So about Derby, Nigel, that was a bit of a...
but then they collapsed. I don't know what's going on. They bought loads of players, so whether the players haven't bonded yet and need a bit more time, but it's just typical Derby, that is, at the moment. Can I just say hello to Peach, who's just come on? He said Stevie Wonder would have defended that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Paul David Atkins up on the chat room with people, and he does the podcast for Watford.
You had a good window, though. You kept your main. Didn't buy many people, did they, Watford? But you kept your main players, Sarr and Pedro, didn't you? It looked like they was definitely going at one point.
Yeah, I think. I have a view that probably, it's good the club kept him because, especially João Pedro, he is a good player. But I think, if I'm going to be honest, the only reason they didn't leave is because Watford probably rate them higher than what other Premier League clubs do. Because it'd only be Premier League they'd go to. And I think their valuation was higher than what I think anyone's probably prepared to go to. But it's good that we kept them.
Yeah, we'll say that, Gal. Villa was well prepared for Sarr, weren't they? It was only that he pulled out.
Yeah, they held out. I mean, I'm sceptical on whether it's because the club. I think at the right price, the club was sold. Simple as. However, there you go. Paul's saying that look, clubs didn't match valuations. Otherwise, they would have gone. But thank God they stayed. But we've got to worry about what might happen in January, really. But I think we offloaded a lot of money, so I suppose that's a good move for a Championship club to do.
Yeah. Good evening to Stephen Parkin as well. Hope you're well. Yeah, Palace's window was a bit of a. We done our business early in the window, really. So a lot of fans were a bit upset and pissed off that we didn't get him on the last day, Conor Gallagher. But it's hard, isn't it? You can't. You've only got a certain budget, and I don't think Palace have really got the millions that other clubs have got. I mean, Southampton was a big surprise, wasn't it? They spent big on the last day. Some good signings.
Under the radar, Southampton, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, look, I don't think Gary's going to get on. No. Unfortunately, we will try and get Gary back on another time, but I think he's probably going to have to go somewhere else to do it because he always has trouble, bless him. But I was talking to Gary today, and he's a big Forest man, and obviously yesterday I think was a reality check for them. Huge loss for them, that was huge. But I think, one of the things he said was he was quite surprised at Southampton. And I said, well, I wasn't, because actually, if you see how well they've done in the transfer market this year, how much money they spent that they don't normally spend, You know, they've had a really good transfer window, Southampton, which is unusual for them because they are a selling club. You know.
Yeah, I think they've had some investment, haven't they? But I mean, to lose, they lost their lot. They got smashed by City, didn't they, Forest? And I think that might have affected them going into this game against Bournemouth. But 2-0 up, you've got to defend that lead, haven't you?
Well, yeah. Look, we've lost Gary. Paul has said he'll come on. Sorry to say this, that Gary fella, but Colton is one of the worst crowds I've ever been to. Oh, bless him. I like Colton. I'm going to send. Gary said, right, I'm going to send over Paul the link. He said he'd come on for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's see what he join us. Anyway, carry on, Dan. Sorry, I'll deal with it.
Yeah, so, Premier League, there was Chelsea, West Ham. I think we spoke about that. West Ham fans are very angry with that late goal. Tottenham, Fulham. Tottenham are doing really well, weren't they? Wolves beat Southampton, actually. But I actually like Wolves have been playing well. I watched them against Newcastle the week before, and they was unlucky not to win that. The goal that was disallowed for the foul, where he was running through, is very similar to the game today when Eriksen got fouled, and then Arsenal went and scored to make it 1-0, and he got disallowed. And I think they got both the decisions right. It was a push. Maybe they went over a bit easy, but that's a bit of consistency. They pulled up 2 fouls in 2 different games and the same. So I think that's the only thing you can hope for, really. But Arsenal, I was interested to see how they was going to get today. They haven't played any great teams yet, so it's the first team they've played are quite good. But Arsenal looked really good, though, although they lost 3-1. But did you watch much of the game, Kelly?
No, I've just seen bits and pieces of it. But, the jury's always out for me with Tottenham Arsenal because not so much Tottenham, but Arsenal, when they're good, they're really good. And when they don't turn up, that's when they let themselves down. And it's been like that for about the last 10 years with Arsenal.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they respond after this defeat.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, we was talking about Man United. They're on a bit of a roll now, and new players come in. The new signing scored today, and he's got them playing. Fair play to him.
Yeah, no, it surprised me. Another team we should mention is Brentford. I mean, there was a penalty there Leeds should have got. And
shouldn't mention anyone from the Premier League anyway.
Yeah. Did he say something then?
Premier League.
But no, I will get down to the other leagues in a minute. But yeah, Brentford 5-2 against Leeds. Ivan Toney, cracking hat-trick.
Brilliant play, isn't he?
Yeah, but the Leeds penalty, that I've watched that myself earlier, and it was a penalty. It didn't even get a foul. It didn't even go to VAR. So I can see why Jesse Marsh done his nut. He's always a bit active on the sideline anyway, isn't he? But might have changed the game. That goal, I don't know if they got a penalty. But I just see Ben Cliff, resident Stoke fan and Kidsgrove Athletic fan. He went to see Doncaster Rovers v Mansfield Town yesterday. There's a ground hook. Tried the little ground, 4 goals, 2 penalties. And it was a big turnout for Mansfield, I could see. They had a couple of thousand there, I think. So a good turnout for him. But anyway, it's going to the Championship.
Only up the road, isn't it, for them?
Yeah.
They should get a good turnout for that.
Be interesting to see Ben's views on Alex Neil going to Stoke from Sunderland. And they lost today, didn't they, Stoke? 2-1 at Reading. Reading, the surprise team of the season, I think, in the Championship.
Is Alex Neil going to go to Bournemouth now after 2 days at Stoke?
Yeah.
What's all that about?
God knows. Good evening to Nicky Lewis. Hope you're well. Yeah, Ben Cliff says, big shout out to Michael Oliver for sticking his 2 decisions. Even VAR told him to check his decision. Good on him. Fair enough. Yeah, 2,700 Mansfield fans there were. Right, I think we've got someone else coming into the room. Let's have a look.
Evening.
Are you a Watford fan by any chance?
No. I support Brentford.
Right, I'll have to take him off.
This is just to take you off the scent, mate. I'm buzzing after Brentford one, mate. So.
So is it Paul? Is it Paul?
Well, yeah, mate.
Listen, sorry, I've got to jump in, mate. Your pathetic effort with Crystal Palace.
Come on, I've just not
put to shame.
It's a program of 1976. That is.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, I've got 1 or 2 souvenirs lying around, so I thought I might put 1 or 2 on my wall. So
yeah, no, it looks good. Looks good. So do you do a Watford podcast, Paul? Do you?
Yeah, I found one on one of our forums in Cali. Very honoured to add. Cali's always helped me out as well. So we do it on my TMA TV, and it's just a fan one, just a hobby for me. And
Right.
Cali and a few others, absolutely amazing, helping me out, and just another avenue for fans to give their voices on.
Yeah. No, great. So obviously your championships, and I'm not being not having a dig there, but championships your speciality. So who have you been impressed with in the league so far? Bristol City have been a bit of a surprise, haven't they? They're up the top.
Definitely. The surprise that Palace fan don't give us Stiggs either. That's pretty good, mate, and all.
Who's that?
I mean, yesterday wasn't great, but we still got a draw, and they always say draw your away games and win your home games. So we've still got a lot to come from them.
Yeah. I see Sheffield United 1-2 all day. Great result with them. They're flying at the top, aren't they? So I don't know how predictions were. I don't think any of us picked them at the start. We went Middlesbrough and West Brom, didn't we?
No, I was Sheffield tonight.
Did you?
Yeah, I'd Sheffield United, Watford and Norwich. One of them two to go up with them.
Oh, I hope you put some money on it.
Nah.
Right, we'll have a quick look into League One. Ipswich flying there, aren't they? Who else we got there? Derby lost at home. We already spoke about that. Exeter had a good result against MK Dons. Forest Green, the new boys, they're struggling. They ain't won a game, I don't think. And a great result for Pompey. I think they're unbeaten. And Barnsley beaten Sheffield Wednesday away in the South Yorkshire Derby. So there were some good games there. The one team I did want to talk about in League Two was Leyton Orient. Surprise package, top of the league, weren't they now? I don't know if you guys got anything to say in the first and second division.
No.
Well, yeah, like Kenny Jeffrey was manager there, weren't they? And they got rid of him, and
Yeah.
saying no, sort of like everything's gone right. So
Yes.
not having a go at Kenny, but whoever came in turned the club around.
I think is it the Cowley brothers, isn't it? Danny Cowley and these
No, it's at Portsmouth, isn't he? Yeah, it's done well. I thought they were unlucky at Huddersfield, to be fair, but they're a very good duo.
Yeah, no, good side, aren't they? Big team.
Dan, I don't know if we could just go back while we got Pidge on. Alex has gone, you harp on about Watford's poor defence. Do you miss Foster? Mate, what do you think to that?
In some ways we do, but we knew the time was coming when Foster had to leave, and we had to at least give Backman a more of a chance. And I think his commanding of the box needs to improve, but his shot stopping's excellent. I mean, there's been a few games where he has saved us because of our defences fell asleep. But in some ways we do, because he commanded his box a hell of a lot better than Backman. But yeah, I think the time was come. A bit like when Gomez, is a legend as Gomez was, there was a time when he needed to step aside for Foster, and I think this season was the time for Backman to get his chance.
Yeah. So it's time. Alex, I hope that answered your question, mate.
Right, so we might do our first little talking point. It was Joey Barton come up with it last week. He had a bit of a Gary-style rant, 20-minute rant in a press conference, and it was about our teams, Premier League teams, are just taking all the young talent and stockpiling them and not sharing the. And it's actually bringing down how good the Championship is or the lower leagues, because the talent is all stuck up in these clubs. They're not getting games. They might get loaned out. And I think they tried to go and loan a player and they got a knockback. But they've done some great work, Bristol Rovers, with some loan signings last season. So I think he's making some great points that these clubs stockpile. And he mentioned Loftus-Cheek at Chelsea. He was a great player, and you hardly see him. Conor Gallagher, he ain't going to get a look in at Chelsea now. And he's just, I don't know your views of that on Nige. Our young English talent isn't getting a look in. You need to play games, don't you? You're no good being in the bench or in the under 23s.
Yeah, he's sort of like having toys that you don't want to play with, and just put them in the cupboard. But you don't want anyone else to have them. So it's a difficult one, because these days they've got to have big squads, just in case of injuries and stuff like that. But if the team's winning and they're not getting injuries, and these players on the outside aren't going to get looking. I mean, it's half a dozen of one and six of the other, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Because you used to have the combination league, didn't it, back in your days? The reserve, they don't have reserve league now, do they? It's like the under 23s.
Is it under 23s?
And you see them playing that. Is it, what's the cup called? The Papa John's Cup? They play the academy under 23s, and they're not, it's not men's football, is it? They're not getting the real, they're not learning their trade, are they, at that level? I don't think so. It's a big problem. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Is it Pidge? Pidge, yeah.
Yeah. I managed to get opinions from both sides of it. I see, and I was more towards, not just saying it because Nigel's here as well, but I was more towards Cally's opinion, where you're playing against players, first team Premier League players that are coming back from injury, so you already got that physical edge when you've got the under 21s, or say the reserve side when it used to be, which I thought was a fantastic idea. But I was lucky to interview Omar Rizzo, who's one of the coaches at Watford, which is now changed to the under 21s, and we were saying at the time when it was under 23s, what was the advantage? He firstly said that the reserve team was a big advantage, but a lot of them are late bloomers, and he says when it's under 23s, they still play okay. Not as many first team players come back from injury, but they can hold them on for a few more years and develop them that way, because a lot of the players, when it was reserve team football, once if they couldn't cut it at 18, they were let go. So it's good and bad points. I'm still more towards the reserve and first team format years ago. Yeah. But I can see where Omar came from with this under 23 business. But I agree with you with Conor Gallagher and players like that, which are quality players. I mean, Conor Gallagher, what a player he is. And Loftus-Cheek was a very, very good player. You just don't see them getting much chances, especially at Chelsea, because those head coaches don't get much time, do they? And same at Watford.
I think you know what, we're coming off the back of the most expensive transfer window in history by a country mile, £2 billion spent. We could argue, well, hang on a minute, this is totally bollocks, because at the end of the day, people are going to be struggling to pay the bleeding bills, and football's in a bubble that is getting ridiculous, and that bubble's got to burst some point. But the point being is, that's me ranting.
Not yet.
Saying this show without it. Bring the government down. That's what I say. Bring football down back to earth. Jesus Christ, the moon's too far away for these pillocks. Right. Sorry.
Just turning my light off for a minute to save some money. Going on.
Yeah. No. So look, if you look at, the amount of foreign players coming into the game, if you look at the ownership model of the Premier League is predominantly foreign. If you look at the money into the Premier League now, last season, I don't know what it's like this season, probably a lot more, but also the TV right money is more international coming in than it is domestic. So the Premier League has become an international league, in my view, and you can relay that into players in terms of, if you look, even Watford yesterday, how many Watford players in the Championship were English? Not many. And that's in the Championship. So we've argued this for probably 20 years, haven't we, about, well, not enough English talent getting the opportunity. I think we've moved on to a new level on that now. I think it's gone to a way new level. And I would imagine you could go to Luxembourg and they probably got a bigger pick of their top flight players, albeit not as at the level we are. But I bet they got a bigger pick of top flight players from their leagues than what we have for England. The youngsters ain't. It's gone to a new level in my view.
When I went to play football in South Africa all them years ago, we had a youth team there, and we had some really good players. And I was having a chat with my agent that got us over there, Richard Games. And I was saying about, he could be knocking on the first team door. And he went, Cally, you won't get a game over here. I went, why? He says, all the good players that they get at this club, they'll sell them to a club in Belgium or Holland and make money out of them. So they won't go into the first team. They're just being trained and made to sell to make a profit. So again, they're getting sent over to Europe. They're not even interested in playing in South Africa.
Wow.
So that's it is like you say, spot the Englishman at the moment.
Yeah, I know. You think Southgate does go down and pick players from unfashionable side? Then he's picked a few from Palace. He's the pool is had to be more spread out, isn't it? I know the cream always rises to the top of these big clubs, but I don't think it's a great thing. It's like it's in Italy in the 90s, isn't it? I mean, they had the best players from all over the world, didn't they? Because it's all about money, isn't it? But did they bring in the free foreign players rule? Did they? I can't remember that.
Yeah,
but then again, I think that's
wasn't it?
Yeah, but then that's like freedom of movement, and I suppose, or whether they call it some new laws they brought in. So I don't know if you can do that anymore. But yeah, no, I think Joey Barton's made some great points. I think about the
youth. Don't get me wrong. People will argue, well, you want the greatest league in the world, then you've got to play. It's going to be owned by outside of this country, but it depends what you want out of the game, doesn't it? As a fan.
I don't mind. And you're probably the same. I don't look at the Palace team and look at where they come from, or as long as we win. But yeah, it will affect the England side. I get that.
At some point, but also the youth for this country. Are they going to get the opportunities to play top flight football? We've already mentioned some players that maybe could have made it a lot better had the opportunity to come. But I think you hit it straight on the head at the beginning. The managers and the clubs, they want immediate success, and you can't get that by nurturing your youth through. I mean, Chelsea made the right pigs here of some of their sales. I mean, they've sold players on, then they're trying to buy them back at triple the money. I mean, I don't understand. Well, that sums it up, doesn't it? I mean, their
business model. Chelsea's business model is always, the last 10 years is their youth setup. They buy loads of players and get the best talent from Europe, and then they loan them out all over the place. Get money for the loans, get a couple of million here and there, and it's a good business model. But the odd player they will, like Salah, they sold. Who else was it? Lukaku. They made some crazy decisions. But their business model is to take the best youth players, loan them out for money, get their money in. Maybe that'll change with this new American guy. I don't know, but.
Yeah, they're saying, was it Simon Jordan saying he's playing Football Manager at the moment until he, typical American goes in, I'm the boss, I'm going to negotiate this, and he's going in like that. I mean, when they start realising that teams are going to look at that and say, okay, we'll bump the price up 20 million, he may change his mind. But it's gone the days of when Cally was playing where managers like, we call God, shape the clubs and build up from the grassroots up. Not necessarily spend millions of pounds of money and try and build a club organically. And I mean organically via the youth system. Cally being a perfect example of a fantastic player come from our youth system. You don't get that anymore because of especially our club. You don't get that time to grow a team. I mean, under Jordan, under Palace, I mean, at least he gave managers a bit of leeway, and you produce some fantastic players. We did to a certain degree when these managers at our club were given time, but a lot of it's instant success, and
you can't afford it. Although I give Palace credit now, not because I'm a Palace fan, but they have invested millions and millions into this amazing new academy. All the youth teams are doing well at all levels, and they are bringing players through, and they do buy the best talent from QPR. We bought Eze, Reading, Elise, so they're trying to do it that way, but I think it could bite us in the arse a bit, and we could struggle all of a sudden, and you drop out the Premier League, and you just nailed it, Pidges, that now they've got to have an instant success. You've got to stay in the Premier League to make the money. But I think Palace are trying to do it that way, but yeah, that's the only reason I'm still, like me and Gary, a lot of us don't like modern day football, but Palace is still an old school club, so they're still doing the youth thing, so But yeah, I know you're totally right on all the other points.
Yeah, totally good point that brought up by Johnny B there. If he was younger today, then I don't know if that's Mr. Barnes. No, I'm joking. I would go abroad to make it, and we'll get recognised easier and get more opportunity. And so saying, like for an English player, you're better off going abroad, applying your trade abroad. And I think there was a thing about some of the clubs now actually do look to recruit English players because they're not getting a break in their own country, and then they get them over there, and then sell them back to us. Let's keep the German economy going. Yeah,
Bellingham would be the next one coming back, wouldn't he? From
Sancho being one. Bellingham. There's a few others. I watch a lot of Bundesliga, and there's a lot of Mönchengladbach are looking at a few as well, and yeah, that's a lot of clubs are bringing them over to Germany because it's a decent level. That they'll nurture them, they give their managers time to nurture these young players, and yeah, it's certainly a good stable for bringing those players over.
Yeah,
And good luck
Right.
to the youngsters as well. For
it makes, and you go over as a young man, you're going to grow up, aren't you? You're going to grow up and become a more rounded person. So I'll fair play to them for going over there.
yeah,
Right, Johnny B's. Hello, Johnny. You've mentioned something else. All right, do you think the National League should be Division 3? And he says because most of them are not professional. So he makes a good point. When we spoke about maybe you should have a Division 2 South and North and try and make it have more teams go up.
Yeah, try and help clubs with their finances. I know Gary's not on, but I mean, one of the things that's happened at Carlton Town is that they were in Northern Premier Division Midlands, got just short of the playoffs, ready to push on this season, and the FA decided, no, we're now going to put you in the Northwest Division. Their expense on travelling has gone from something like £5,000 to £12,000 for a little club like that. That is critical.
Massive,
and I think we did say then on this point, would it be a good idea? I don't know if it's workable. They do it in the National League, so why isn't it workable? That you would amalgamate the National League and League 2 and create a North and South, whereby allowing these lower end clubs that financially are always on the brink to reduce the travel expenses, which are quite horrendous, and they're only going to get worse with this wonderful economical crisis that we're in.
Hang on, he's gone early. Hang on.
You want me to do me rant?
No, you are. No,
Oh.
I'm joking. But no, talking about the National League, Chesterfield unbeaten, had a great start. Wrexham, and I've got a little caption here. Wrexham played. Oh, you shooting, Pidge? He just messaged you.
Yeah.
Mate.
No, thank you ever so much for having me on, boys. It's been an absolute honour to think. I always watch it every Sunday as well. So,
oh, brilliant!
Yeah, thanks for jumping on there. That's brilliant.
Thanks,
Much appreciated, mate.
Take care, mate.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Get a few more Watford things in the background next time.
One or two. I won't go too mad.
Take care, mate. Thanks a lot. See you later.
Mate.
Yeah, so Wrexham played at Dorking Wanderers, a newly promoted side, the modern day fairy tale that's happened at Dorking Wanderers. And the Dorking chairman the owner and manager, Mark White, he turned up to the local pub. I can see if I can find a picture. Where is it here? No, that's Eddie Howe. I'll find it in a minute. But yeah, he turned up to the local pub with the Wrexham fans who travelled down from Wales, and he stuck 300 quid behind the bar for them. I don't even know if I got it on here. There we go. Yeah, the boss of Dorking Wanderers walked in the pub with 300 quid to the Wrexham fans in there, and so it's brilliant.
Yeah, but you know why that was, though, don't you?
Oh, it's great
He
PR,
sat there, he worked out, oh my God, there's over 1,000 of them turned up. I'm going to make a mint today. Let me go and give them a little thank you and get the beer flowing so that when they're in the ground, they're going to spend more money on the beer, mate. He made a fortune out of it, bless him.
Oh,
But
good.
no, it was a really nice gesture.
He's a clever businessman, and is it Rob McKennedy, the two of the Hollywood owners who own Wrexham, Ryan Reynolds and the other guy, and he tweeted back to say we'll return the favour when Dorking Wanderers come to Wrexham. Just lay on the hospitality. So I think that's great.
Guys, Nicky Lewis, PGMO just announced both yesterday's goals should have stood.
Sorry?
Is this Nicky?
PGMO, is it PGMO?
Okay.
Announced that both goals should have stood yesterday.
Well,
They've had it on the cameras, and both goals should have stood.
yeah. Well, fair play. They've come out and said that. I think the who's the old referee? Really good referee. Done the World Cup final. Big guy. Well, he's coming back at Christmas, and he's going to take over from Mike Riley, or if it is in charge, someone will give us his name. Very good referee. So hopefully that will make things change, because I don't think there's a lot wrong with VAR. It's just the people running it and the people looking at it.
Mate, it's let itself down lately again, hasn't it?
No, not Dermot Gallagher. I can't think of his name. I'm sure someone who he refereed the World Cup final.
Do you know? I think the problem, Dan, in my
Howard
view,
Webb. Thank you, Alex Langley. Howard Webb. That's right.
I think the problem, in my view, Dan, is that because it's this wonderful supposed technology, that it should be right every time. There should not be room for error. Otherwise, why have we got it? Do you know what I mean? And clearly there are errors being made. So therefore, it's like, at least back in the day, you've got to accept refs are human and they're going to make mistakes. But they brought in this technology, which has its downsides, in my view. And I've, been at games where it's destroyed the bloody atmosphere at times. And, you expect it to be absolutely on the money. Otherwise, why have we got it? And it ain't on the money, clearly.
I watched Brighton, the Brighton game earlier against Leicester. We didn't mention him earlier. 4-2 or 5-2 to Leicester to Brighton. Brighton are playing really good at it, but there was Brighton got a goal early on and it was disallowed. And the ref took 4 minutes, not 4 hours. He took 4 minutes and 20 seconds to. The whole process took like nearly 5 minutes, which is ridiculous. And it wasn't. It was. I don't know if you see the goal. The ball come over. It was a cross. The players were in offside position, but they come back and he sort of swung his foot, missed it. It went out. Brilliant goal, but because he tried to kick it, it was. But it took 4 minutes 20 seconds, and it's just not. I'm hoping Howard Webb can sort it out. And David Lovegrove, ex-players should be in charge of VAR. Yeah, I see Danny Murphy saying that yesterday on Match of the Day. He was saying that they should get ex-players involved because you know the game, Nige, didn't you? You. Would you take him up on it if they offered you the job?
Yeah, would you go up? I mean, it ain't far from you. It's only round the corner. George's Park. You could get a cab there, mate, for a tenner.
You could get your mix cloud and all the screens in there.
Well, they always say about ex-players making good referees as well. Like, I mean, you do know the tackles that are intentional and a bit naughty because you've been there and you've had the tricks done to you. So I think it'd be a good idea getting ex-players involved in it. But I'm sorry, but the two decisions they got wrong yesterday, from the normal person watching it on TV in slow motion, everybody could see that they made the wrong decision. I know you've got mixed opinions, Dan, but for me, 99% of the people would agree that they made a mistake with them goals. And they should be given. So all the technology they've got, you can't make mistakes with technology. There's no reason to have VAR in the game if they're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And just before we lose, Johnny's put up there that look at that. He's right. What he did, but just before that other comment, I think Tommy's one of the managers at Carlton. I think I might be wrong, Johnny. I've been up there a couple of times. But yeah, as he said, like he used to play for Carlton Town, good old days in the Midlands, not driving to a million miles to each game. It's hurting them this year, Johnny, without a doubt. I can't remember if it's 4,000 gone up to 11 or 5 to 12. It's one of them anyway. And they appealed and everything, and the FA wouldn't let them do it. So yeah, they're feeling the pain a bit, I think. And also, he's just put there. We used to clean the boots then at Forest. Obviously, Johnny was at Forest Youth back in the day, and well, that is just something you did as an apprentice as well. You used to have to clean the boots of the first team, Nige.
Oh yeah, but sort of Friday afternoons we'd train in the mornings, and then if the team's playing at home, we'd be cleaning the dressing rooms and cleaning the boots, stuff like that. But nowadays, they've just got kit men, haven't they? They've got people in charge of the kit, the boots, everything. So all the young lads do is they turn up and train. And they've got the best facilities to train on, half of them. So, but getting back to Palace, Dan, back in the day when I was an apprentice at Watford, Palace were then meant to have the best youth team in the country. They had some good players down there, and we thumped them twice because Tom White's brother was the manager of Palace, Ernie Waddy. And so whenever we played Palace, there was a lot of rivalry in it. But getting back to what Pidge said, nearly 80% of the players that have come to play for Watford came through the youth system, and they weren't players that just played a season and then drifted out of the game. These players got careers out of the game. So the youth system is important. I watched that programme on TV. That's about the Palace.
Yes,
youth.
yeah.
So it brings back some memories. But it's important that we develop the young players just for our national side, really. But like you say, they've got to be given a chance at some stage. You've got to throw them in.
It breeds loyalty as well, Nigel, to your club, doesn't it?
I mean, that Anthony Gordon at Everton, he's set the game alight. He's a real good player, and he's come through their system, hasn't he? So if the managers ain't got the balls to give him a chance, and I know the pressure's on the managers, like you say, they've got to get instant success. It's not like Taylor when he came, he said, I've got a 5-year plan. You're lucky you get 5 weeks these days. Matches. So it's a difficult one. And
Frank Lampard was a classic. When he went to Chelsea, they couldn't spend for a year, so he did have to bring the youth through. And some of them players that come through, and you could see it worked, didn't it?
So talking about youth, Nigel, this is a funny one because Johnny, who's come on our show, I think for the first time actually, he was at Forest with Hodge and Fairclough in the youth team because you shared the room when you were out with England under 21s, Hodge, didn't you?
Yeah. I was roommates with Steve. He had some good stories about Cloughie. His most famous story was, he said, we came into training on Monday and there was a fence with a load of stinging nettles in front of it. And he said to the players, he says, I want you to run over to that fence, touch the fence and come back here. So he went over there, touched the fence, came back. He says, right, I'll see you Thursday. So we give him about 3 days off. And his point was, would you get stung and go for a bit of pain for me? And he just wanted to see how many players would do that. So when he all done it, he went, I'll see you Thursday. That's it.
Johnny, get in touch with us, mate. I mean, if you played in Forest Youth back in the day, mate, maybe you'd like to come on the show and talk about, football with
the
us.
good old days.
So,
there we go.
Let's do it. Let's go to the good old days. Nigel, I think you've got a bit of a story from back then for us, haven't you?
Oh, the good old days.
Good old days. You're on that now. Come on, son. Make us laugh.
Just basically, Watford, when I played for Watford, we weren't the Arsenals and the Tottenhams. We didn't get sponsored flashy cars and all that lot. And we didn't really go anywhere nice to play abroad. So during the international break, Taylor said to all of us, he says, you'll be pleased that when the next break comes, we're going to be going away for a few days. So he said, so make sure you got your passports up to date and everything like that. But the day comes and we're all on the coach and we're waiting for him to get on so we can go to the airport or whatever. And all the lads have got the suntan cream in here going, I can't wait for a few days off. So we get on the coach and we get on the M25 and we're coming up to the Heathrow airport turn-off. And the coach carries on straight. And the lads are going, you've missed the turn-off, you've missed the turn-off. And then they go past Terminal 4, I think it was, you've missed the turn-off. So now we're heading towards Gatwick, down that way. And the lads are thinking, it's got to be Gatwick then we're going to. Get to the Gatwick sign, go straight past it. Now we're all thinking, oh my God, what's happening here? And we get down to the Portsmouth ferries. And there's this roundabout. And there's only 2 exits. The first exit is the Isle of Wight. And the second exit is France. So the whole coach went quiet as we approached this roundabout. And the coach driver went round a roundabout. And he missed the Isle of Wight one. And all of the lads started cheering like that. And it went all the way around the roundabout, back down to the Isle of Wight one, the bastard. We didn't need the passport, so we got over there and it pissed down with rain for 3 days. No suntan either. That was Taylor, that was what he's like.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
These are sort of stories that the good old days.
That was a good old day.
We get more ex-players on because these are the stories that we don't know, that we never hear, because we're on the other side of the fence, and you don't hear these stories. And Nigel, we've heard so many from you, and it's so interesting and so intriguing. It really is. But yeah, Johnny, get in touch, mate, if you fancy coming on with us. A bit of a giggle one day, do so, mate.
Yeah. Right, see you later, Ben.
He'll give us some detail if you need it.
Ben's got to shoot off. Good. See you later, Ben. Thanks for joining us, mate. He's gone after the. He's going up to work. He's got the old Staffico in the week. I don't know if that's Kidsgrove against another team. Right, we've only got 15 minutes left, so we've got to do the draw for this football card. But we're going to do some funny clips now. So we're going to do It's a Funny Old Game. There we go. Right, so I'm going to start with this one. I don't think we showed this last week. A couple of Villa fans, one Jenny, and one's a Ming. Jenny Ming. So Jenny, sort yourself out. I think Gary wanted to. Oh no, this happened in the FA Cup first qualifying this qualifying round this week. Shepton Mallet. They was playing at Blackfield and Langley, and this is their Twitter feed. The Blackfield keeper was sent off for urinating in the hedge. 0-0. So Blackfield, they held on for the last 40 minutes. It finished 0-0. Just wish the keeper could have held on as well. But they got a replay this week. But yeah, that's a first. I've never heard of that. You got to go, haven't you? Surely. Right, we did have a couple of videos. Gary, the video we was going to watch last week.
Yeah, I missed this one. This is quality.
If people want to smuggle drinks or smuggle anything into a ground, I think this is a cricket ground, but it's funny. Here we go. Can't beat a hip flask sandwich.
That's brilliant. That really tickled me. That did.
Well, we put the post up. Man. There was a few Chelsea fans saying they used to take oranges into Chelsea with injected with vodka back in the 80s, and I've seen that from a few places. I don't know how true that is. Another quick video. Dundee United's training ground. Diego Maradona was spotted this week.
Mate, that's mad, isn't it? That's mad, that is.
He even ran like him, didn't he?
Image, man.
Yeah. What else happened this week? Oh, yeah, Roy Hodgson was keen on... This is from 2018. He was keen on a Jordan Ayew loan, but won't pursue a deal for Alfie Haaland's £5 million rated son, as he's not physical enough for the Premier League. Well, how wrong did he get that?
I could be the worst decision in history of football.
Oh my God!
Right, where's the other clips? I think we had some other clips. So I'm going to show. I think that was all the clips, but I'm going to show this now because I'm doing the draw for the football card, and because we started off because a Chipping in Town player, Simon Lawrence, come on, their marketing manager. He comes on the show. He's on a few weeks ago. And sadly, well, one of their players had a cardiac arrest on the pitch away to, I think it was, it was up in near your way, Gary. Yeah, was it? Yeah, he had a cardiac arrest, Pablo Mendes. I think that's his name. And luckily, they had a defibrillator on the pitch in the dugout. Brought him back to life. CPR. Oh, gone a bit echo here. And he come back on the pitch yesterday, 3 weeks later, and he's made a really good recovery, and he's still got a bit of a way to go, but hopefully he can make a full recovery. And this is him yesterday coming out on the pitch. And this is the reason we've started out by our defibrillator fund to try and raise money to donate one.
Never easy, obviously, to go through what you went through your man, but you're back here, you're fighting fit, you've got your teammates in the sun, we're back here ahead of the game at Dartford. All your supporters around here, I'm sure you've got a couple of words you'd just like to say to them.
I'd say thank you to everyone. It was hard for me, but all the boys got me through it. They helped me a lot, and I received a lot of lovely messages from all of you, so thank you very much. And 3 points today, come on, boys.
Yeah, amazing. Pablo Martinez.
Simon's as loud as what he is on the bleeding podcast on there, isn't he?
But it's amazing to see him there. 3 weeks ago, he was almost passing away on the pitch. So, amazing.
No, you got that one up. He put that up. You missed it. Oh, my God. Oh, that's funny, Nige. That is.
Right, I'm going to do this this card. Can you see that, boys?
Come on, old City.
So, yeah. So, me and Gary have had a go as well. If I win, obviously, I'll just put all the money back in. So, here we go. Good luck, everybody.
Win, I'm going up the pub.
I'm just hoping there's something behind this thing here.
There you go, mate. I'm going to move out of the way.
It ain't so, is it?
Look at that. Derby.
Derby
Derby County.
Derby, then.
Derby. Does that say? It does say Derby, doesn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Derby County. Where is it? Let's have a look.
We'll come back to you,
Andrew Foster.
Who, sorry?
Andrew Foster. Andrew Foster's the winner. I think he's a Port Vale fan, Andrew. So well done to you. Thanks for everyone taking part. We will do another one in a couple of weeks' time. And but no, fantastic. So Andrew Foster, 125 quid coming to you and 125 quid coming to our fund.
Quality.
Right.
Quality.
Nigel's got a nice picture behind him there. Do you want to talk us through it, Nigel?
Look at that, folks. Because he's had to duck out of the way. So this is a photo. I think it's in America. Have a look at that. Happy anniversary. So they're having their big anniversary at this venue. Happy anniversary. After all these years, Lisa still loves Dick.
Happy anniversary.
Brilliant, brilliant. By the way, Dick's her husband. Just to, you know.
Right, we've got about 10 minutes left. So, Gary, I think it's time for your fourth rant of the show. Gary's weekly rant. We need a bit of a theme tune for this. Take it away, mate.
Okay. Okay, my rant is directed at Martin Keown, to be honest, who, for those of you who don't know, does the Friday show on a Talk Sport, and I cringe every time I listen to him on a Friday. Anyway, there's Simon Jordan and I forgot the other fella who's on there, Jim White. That's it. And anyway, I was listening to it on Friday, and this highlights for me the hypocritical cronies that are these pundits on all these shows. There are some good ones out there, but they live in a planet as well as some of these overpaid players. But I'm ranting, by the way. So anyway, the subject matter was the overindulgent celebrations that we're suddenly seeing players do. I think the biggest criticism came in for Arsenal, who, by the way, he is very biased about, whether he likes to think he is or he ain't. Anyway, a lot of criticism about this. And one of the points raised by Simon Jordan was, you know, it wasn't so long ago that we were saying fans need to control their emotions, not get on the pitches and not try and cuddle players or, you know, control your emotions. And the players now running into the crowds and doing all this stuff, it's not leading by example. So if you're expecting the fans to be more passive during goal celebrations and winning games and whatever else, then you would expect the players to likewise have a control over what they do. Celebrate, yes, but go wildly over the top, no. Okay, fair enough. So anyway, Martin Keown, one of these pundits who back then, you know, fans are morons, you know, why do they do it? They're stupid. Well, you know, all this stuff that we had to put up with about fans. I'm not condoning pitch invasions, by the way, but I'm more on about the celebrations when they maybe jump the fence to cuddle a player, stuff like that. And I'm not condoning any of it, but it was what it was, and the criticisms for fans come into play. So Martin Keown on Friday, when Simon has put this to him, has turned around and said, well, no, because you can't just, that was it. Football is a game of passion and it does run high. And when a goal is scored, you can't just switch off the button and people will get very excited. And it's like, am I hearing this? Like, 2 months ago, mate, football supporters are morons and whatever else because of them getting overexcited when we score a goal or win a game. Players start doing it, and then all of a sudden it's, well, yeah, there's passion in football and you can't just switch it off when there's this explosion of passion over scoring a goal. So I just really wanted to have a rant about that, really, and say, Martin Keown, I think you're a powder puff himself. Don't like listening to you, and you should go and lock yourself away in Oxford where you live.
Right. That was Gary's rant for the week.
I know that when people have asked me, sort of what are the 2 rushes of blood that you get, and I used to say, going out of the tunnel, for the start of the match, and you hear the crowd roar. But I've got to say, no matter how tired you are in a game, if you scored a winning goal, it's like having a shot of adrenaline up you, and you just you could run a mile. So it is.
Yeah.
There's no way players are not going to be able to celebrate because it is like a shot of adrenaline.
Here's a question for you, Nigel. Scoring a goal or having sex, what's the most exhilarating feeling? Sorry, it's a bit of a personal question.
I actually, probably at the time, I actually enjoyed scoring goals more than sex.
You, Gary?
Normally, if you scored the goals, you got the sex later on at night.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm not saying that players shouldn't celebrate. Yes, in light of what they're telling fans to do, maybe they need to not go to an extent that is way over the board. However,
they should celebrate on the pitch.
Yeah, his analysis of the passion in the football, defending them players. I never heard any of that analysis out of these people on these shows when they were criticising fans for what they were doing, rightly or wrongly. Whether these fans did it rightly or wrongly, but it is the same. The rush you get rush I would get when you scored a goal, that rush you would have, we was having it as well.
Yeah, you don't get it, does he?
Adrenaline, that rush that you've just scored a goal, it's mental.
Do you know, Gary? I don't know if Martin Keown was a football supporter when he was growing up. But you look at Gary Neville. I know he gets a lot of stick, but I think he's a good pundit, Gary Neville. But you look at him when Man United score or when he was playing, he's a proper Man United fan, isn't he? He went mad in the. He got a bit of stick for it when he was commentating against Liverpool, I think he was, But that just shows he gets it, doesn't he? He gets the passion of the fans. But I don't think Martin Keown does he? Obviously not.
Oh, listen, you just look. If you want to get an idea what he's like now, just listen to him on a Friday, mate.
I can't listen to him.
No,
he's just a yes man soundbites. Cool. Right, we spoke about football pitches and Coventry was called off the other week because of a bad pitch. I was going to show this on the clips earlier and I've missed it. This is a game. Forget the name of the team now, but this is why their game was called off on the weekend.
That one. That's terrible. If that was on the pitch.
That's fucking. That looks like an earthquake.
It was in Oxford somewhere. It was. Looks like this on
that's bad, isn't it?
Reyes fault line, doesn't it? Or something.
Oh, mate, that's bad.
Yeah.
My neighbour's brick wall's cracked.
Is it?
Yeah. So when opposite me, they've got a brick wall and it's their garden. Literally, it's cracked from top to bottom. Cracked this obviously must be down to the heat. It literally cracked. It's gone up and then cracked bricks in half as well. Must be the heat. But that ground, mate. How deep did that go?
Yeah. Oh, that 4 or 5 foot, and that wasn't the only crack on the pitch. So they had to call it off. Obviously, dangerous for the players. I mean, you'd lose players, wouldn't you? Down that crack.
Yeah, no, you would. Yeah, the crack wouldn't have been that good there, would it?
Well,
for those younger viewers, the crack is having a laugh, by the way.
Right, so I think we're coming in the end of the show. Anything else you guys want to add?
I think just we missed out the Hooters thing, didn't we?
Yeah, that was it. Hooters.
Yeah, that bit of fun.
We're touching that. So a non-league side, an under-10 side in Nottingham, I can't remember the name of the team now, but they announced on Facebook they was going to be sponsored by Hooters, which is a restaurant in Nottingham. I think most people know it, where the ladies wear they wear roller skates, tight clothes, and so and when I first saw this, I was a bit like, I'm not sure if that's, I don't know, but yes, it's money for the club. But anyway, the FA, Nottingham FA, have got involved, few complaints, and they've had to they've stopped them from getting sponsored. So yeah, I don't know. I know you got some views on this again, Gal, but I don't know if we've got enough time for that.
Because look, and I'm going to get shot down like this. I know I'm going to get proper kicking off with me now when I say what I'm about to say. You know what? You're right. When I first see it, I raised my eyebrows and thought, is it within the taste, right taste? You know, because I'm a bit old-fashioned and I think back to the morals we had 20, 30 years ago. And then I thought, well, actually, you know what? They have all these transvestites going into schools and teaching young kids whatever they go in and do and all this sort of stuff. You know, some of the stuff we now see is, in my view, is almost depraved, right? But, you know, it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if this is what they're going to do and stop, don't get me wrong, you know, I've been in Hooters. That's me divorced. No, it ain't a strip club. It ain't a titty bar. And I sort of, you know, the girls wear tight clothes. It's a bit of a gimmick. Do you know what I mean? And all right, there are groups out there say, well, it maybe depraves women. Well, then if that's the case, then maybe the Chippendales need banning, and you're not allowed to watch Magic Mike because that depraves men. It is what it is. I just think, with what I see going on today, let's have a standard for all then. Let's not have transvestites going into our schools, teaching our kids whatever they do. I don't know. You know, that's my view anyway. Yeah.
No, I can see why they've stopped it. They should have asked them first, but yeah, it's
I mean, the morals are not what they were 20 years ago, in my view. No. You know, you've got all these different groups and whatever else, and some of the things you see on some of these festivals and all that, you know, it's quite depraved in some ways. And it's all right making a moral standpoint for that club not to get their sponsorship because they wear tight clothes in their restaurant, but quite frankly, we've got to have some
consistency with this stuff, haven't you? No, I think there's one more thing we can talk about. Just a quick one. West Brom, a 98th minute equaliser in the week against, forget they played now, but the fans are not happy with their owner, the Chinese owner. Can't remember his name, but he's only been there once. Greg, who's normally on the show, he lives up that way. But they put a banner up in the crowd at the end of the game, and the stewards come over and took the banner down. And now this is what the actual banner said. It's nothing sweary in it. It's nothing derogatory. It's just saying their feelings about the manager, about the chairman, sorry. This is what it says. 6 years, 4 CEOs, 9 managers, 2 relegations, 1 big lie. That's Lie is his surname with this Chinese fella. But this is what happened. The fans put it up. The stewards come in and ripped it off them. I mean, there's another video which shows it's a lot worse. It goes on a bit too long, but it's like a Chinese. Are we living in a Chinese state? Are they trying to? You're not allowed to speak out or being speak up?
To be fair, on the other video, it shows the stewards being extremely aggressive.
Yeah,
and to be fair, the people involved are not. And this leads, you know, we could put on 20 bloody film videos now of stewards being absolutely ridiculously heavy-handed and causing a lot of problems. And it's another, it's like, it's almost like the grounds are becoming like private police states.
Yeah, you can't air your grievances against the chairman. It's ridiculous. That's obviously a message has come from someone that they're not allowed to protest against him.
I had a steward at Derby, wouldn't let me in my own players' car park. So can you get a message to Arthur Cox telling him his left winger won't be in there today? Some of these stewards, it becomes a power trip for them. I'm sorry, but there's some good stewards, but there's quite a few out there. They get the badge on and they think they've got power.
Well, they brought lots in from local in Sheffield United the other week. They brought in the local bouncers from the clubs because there's not many people who are applying for the jobs. It's not enough money, so they brought in these agencies. And some of the footage from the Sheffield United game was disgusting. They was proper bullies, and they're not used to a football crowd. And the stewards at Palace are good. I mean, you get to know them, friendly, but I think it's mainly away fans. But Sheffield United was young fans, and it's just not on. They're on power trips and just bullies. But yeah.
Dan, before we go, Johnny's been a really put lots up on today, really interesting stuff. And he's just put one last thing he'd like us just to quickly mention, and that is what comments we have about players kissing the badge.
Yeah.
I
don't take any notice of it. I don't
really take any notice of it. It means nothing to me when they do that, to be honest with you. The only people that will be at a club forever are the fans, really, aren't they? So,
yeah, I see you done it today. The new signing for United when he scored, good goal. I can't remember his name, but yeah, where has that spade gone? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, carry on, Nigel. What do you think? Did you ever kiss the badge?
Oh, I don't know. Probably at some stage I might have done. I mean,
it's that emotion again, isn't it? Maybe that emotion. Scoring that goal.
Trying to tell the fans that you love the club.
Yeah,
there's no harm in it. I mean, like you say, you see players do that all the time. Nobody gets wound up about it. Nobody's offended by it.
Don't really, no. Just
no.
Okay.
Right. Well, that's the show today. Thanks for everyone joining us. Really appreciate it. Plenty of new people, Johnny as well. And get in touch with us, Johnny, if you want to come on. And Yeah, Johnny, they go and lead the cup next year. That's right.
Yeah, it's just a celebration. I think. Like I say, as a fan, I look at it. It don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean that this guy, maybe if you like, salute the Blissett and Watford and maybe Troy Deeney did it. The proper clubman, and your people that are at club. Maybe it might mean something, but I don't see it as a fan that it means anything, to be honest, because you're absolutely right. It's a celebration. At that moment, they love the club.
And they're just trying to get on side with the fans, aren't they? That's what their first game goal. But
thank you, David. Thank you.
Nigel, you're on Mixcloud tonight, Nigel. What time are you on?
You're on at 8:30, lads.
8:30.
Get the boogie on down.
So jump on Mixcloud. There's the link there. You can see it at the bottom of the page. Really easy to find. And join Nigel there and all his gang. And yeah, good. Have a good night, Nigel. Right, we'll be back next Sunday, the same time, 6:30. So thanks for tuning in. Well done to Andrew Foster for winning the defibrillator fund. We'll be doing more fundraisers as we go along to try and hit the target. But thanks very much. Any last words, Gary?
No. Just finish as I started. No.
Just ad lib a bit. We're not trying to find the closing credits.
Just Dan, well done, mate. I know you put a lot into the fundraising, so well done, mate. It's a great cause.
Yeah, no, it is a great cause, isn't it? Hopefully we can hit the target. And right, but that's it. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good week, guys.
Nice.
See you later.